Hey reviewers, I wanted to give you a holiday update. This is filmed the day after Christmas, so happy belated Christmas to you, Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. And I wanted to give you just a little bit of an update before we go into the Patreon Q&A. That's usually monthly. I know I haven't been doing any public updates since September, and that was kind of a dour one, but it's gotten better. I do have work, and the video is almost done. As of right now, I'm finishing up the keel. I just recorded the outro before this, and it should end up at about 5 hours and 13 minutes. Yeah, 5 hours and 13 minutes. So 5 times 6, 312 minutes. I think that's how that math works out. Anyway, I wanted to give you an update on that and what's coming up here after this transition. That I'm going to do is Patreon Q&A that I do monthly. At the end of each month, I invite my producers who are $5 contributors and more monthly to ask questions. And hey, it's fun. And then I give little life updates too. So that's what I do there as well. So I don't do these public updates as much, but I did want to give you a little bit of a taste of what's going on. So enjoy, and happy 2021 to all of you, because it can't get any worse, can it? Whoa, what's going on? Wow, it's time for a Patreon Q&A. It is Monday night, December the 28th. Oh my god, what a long day. I just ate. Whoo! So I'm looking at the screen right now, and it says we're at 993 subscribers. For 7 subscribers short of the magical 1,000. Now, if you don't know, maybe you don't. It's okay. You don't have to admit out loud that you don't know what that milestone means. Obviously, it's a big number. It's 4 digits. Who cares, right? I care. But it's also the point where YouTube invites you to become a partner, and then you can monetize your videos. And I had, so back in the day, you could just make money on YouTube by just friggin' having a lot of views. And I did, because this channel is 6 years old. Started in 2014 before the adpocalypse. When the adpocalypse came out, the adpocalypse happened, and they set up these restrictions because you had all of these alt-right channels coming up and doing all this fake content that was bad, like really bad, and making money off of it. And advertisers were like, we don't want our stuff being shown on white supremacist videos by these people that have like no subscribers and have millions of views, or however many subscribers, whatever. So YouTube got really restrictive about it. And so now, in order to become monetize, you have to be a partner, and to be a partner, you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours of content. And we hit 4,000 hours like back in September or August. Late August, September, something like that. I think it was August. I've got it. It's somewhere. Just keeping track of the numbers is insane. And I knew that we potentially hit 6,000 or 8,000 watch hours. We are currently at 7,853 watch, almost double the requirement at 993 subscribers, which is good. That means that people who are on this channel are watching the content, and that's a really big deal. So right now, the thief video is 3 hours and 15 minutes long. Still get another 2 hours to go. Currently, I'm not going to get any editing done tonight aside from this. But I mean, I do this on a monthly basis anyway, so it's not a big deal. But on a regular basis, I'm doing between 6 and 15 minutes of editing a day. So the way I figure it is that if I am editing between 6 to 10 minutes every weekday starting tomorrow, essentially, and if I can do not 15 but 20 minutes on this upcoming 3-day weekend I've got with New Year's. Theoretically, this video could be out in 2 weeks. It's going to take a day to render, I know it will. But I'm going to guess it's going to be 3 weeks so that I don't die. It would be great to not die. And in the monetization, obviously the videos you're going to see ads. They will be placed tastefully. You'll have to trust me on that one. And that will just be another venue for revenue so that you can support the interview and allow me to make more of this content quicker. So that's just the story on that. Anyway, let's get to the questions. We got some questions here. Producers get to ask questions. These people right here who contribute at least $5 a month get to be producer, and they get to contribute to questions to the monthly Q&A. And this is the monthly Q&A for December 2020. I do these at the end of the month. So Aaron Hibbard asks, thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077? People moan that it gets delayed, but then it comes out rushed with bugs, so they moan about that. CD Projekt Red's stock dropped. Sony removed it from the PlayStation Store. It still looks beautiful, etc., and still sold really well. Yeah, it sold really, really well. I think it was like 12 or 13 million copies. CD Projekt Red came out, I think, the day of launch or the day after launch, and basically said they had recuperated all development and promotional expenditures, CapEx, immediately. So every dollar that they've made for the past however many weeks it's been now came out on the 11th. So basically the past 2.5 weeks has just been icing on the cake. So let's walk it back a little bit. First off, I haven't played it, but I want to, and I'm saying that beyond the fact that I want to review it. But so I don't have any experience with how bad the bugs really are. I mean, I've played every Bethesda game, nearly every Bethesda game except for Fallout 76 and the Elder Scrolls Online at launch since 2001, when Morrowind came, or 2002, I guess, when Morrowind came out. And that was a kind of a buggy mess back then as well, but I guess it's all relative. So I don't know how bad the extent of bugs is in this game. People T-posing and stuff like that, cosmetic stuff, frame rate issues, like that's not a big deal to me at all. It's when things don't work. The worst wasn't a bug, but it was in Just Cause 3. I got that for Christmas of 2015. It needed a perpetual connection to the Square Enix servers because it was doing like cloud saving or scoreboarding or some crap like that. And the servers were being overwhelmed. So every, I don't know, like minute or 5 minutes or so, it would pop up and say that it had lost its connection to the Square Enix servers. And that was, I mean, at times it rendered the game unplayable, like just absolutely unplayable. And I had footage of it, and you see it in the Just Cause 3 Nth review as well. It's just it was so irritating. So that's one thing. But people T-posing and things like that, things like DLSS and ray tracing not working, like who cares, really? I mean, there's only like 1% of gamers who have hardware that can do ray tracing. It's higher, I know it is, but you get what I'm saying here. It doesn't really matter. The core problems that I'm hearing that actually do concern me are the ones related to gameplay, and people saying that it feels very cold, that it feels very hearing a lot of Watch Dogs comparisons, and it's been 6 years since I've played the original Watch Dogs, but I remember how cold and unfeeling and uninteresting and boring and bland that gameplay could be at times, because it seemed like it was doing something cool, and it wasn't. It wasn't. And obviously there are some throwbacks to Deus Ex. It'll be interesting to see how that compares. Coming off Thief 2014, where they actually have talent trees and abilities and things like that. That'll be something. Now, the game. I remember when the teaser trailer for this game had been released in 2013. I think it was that CGI sequence with the lady with the blade says she's about to be shot by a cop. I think that's what it was. I mean, I don't think I've seen it since. And it released before Witcher 3, years before even Witcher 3 came out. And I don't know why they did that. That 7 years in advance, that's really dumb. Don't freaking do that. It's just bad. Don't fucking do that. Just don't promote your game so damn early. That's ruined so many games. It's just like Nintendo got it right. Announce the game like a week before it comes out. Do the Steve Jobs things. It's available today. So no game is ever truly finished, right? I mean, you're hitting a moving target. Like, well, we're going to develop it after launch anyway. So when is launch? when is it good enough? When is it going to be complete enough? How many features do we have a lock on? How many bugs are we going to be able to quash? How many are going to be known shippables? How many assets do we need? I mean, obviously there's a lot of art involved, which you can knock out pretty quick, but it seems like there's just so many technical things and feature creep. I keep hearing that so much is feature creep. They just kept adding features and implementing that stuff poorly. So I don't think they could ever win. Honestly, not with a 2020 release date based on, how it released as. It should it have been a 2021 game? I don't know. Maybe. I think of No Man's Sky and the whole trials they went with there, and if they hadn't released when they did, I mean, would they have had the money to... I mean, I guess you could exclude pre-orders and stuff, but if they hadn't released when they did in 2016, would they have had the money and the support? Because they sold millions and millions of copies right away, even though they got overwhelmingly negative reviews. Would they have had the money to perpetually develop the game until it got good or decent? And I don't think so. But obviously, Hello Games has been this crew of a dozen people in England versus CD Projekt Red, which is this publicly traded company, and in Poland, and a huge deal, and they're worth billions of dollars. And so they had the resources to kind of... And there's a point where a game like CD Projekt Red or a game like Cyberpunk 2077, you can't just throw money at it. It's not like Hollywood where you can just keep hiring on special, a litany of special effects houses to finish a movie, which is what they do. That's why those budgets get so big, is that this movie has to come out in a year, and we've got access to unlimited money, so let's hire all these special effects houses to make the thing. The thing about game development is that it literally becomes a kitchen, because you have to solve technical problems. Whoa, it got really dark. Hey, welcome back. It becomes an issue of having too many chefs in the kitchen. You can't have 20 million people working on a game's code, or at least not at a core basis, essentially because it could potentially fuck up something else. You're essentially rebuilding a game from scratch every time you build a new game, even if you have an existing engine. So that's why games take so much longer than movies do. So I really, I knew it was going to be buggy. Any open world game is going to have bugs. That's just you just have to accept it, really. But how egregious they are, I don't know, and I don't have any experience. And by the time I do play it, I mean, they may have cleaned up a bunch of that stuff, but who knows? Because I'm not expecting to get my hands on for another couple months, I guess. I did see some footage with people who are with specs that are close to what I have for this machine that I edit on, which is a 4-year-old machine, almost 5-year-old machine that I built after my last machine died in the middle of Just Cause 3, editing that. That was great. That's why Just Cause 3 and Quantum Break came out within about a month of each other, because I had pretty much everything done. So in various stages. But I saw some footage and it doesn't look terrible and it runs. So, I mean, but I also don't know what it'd be like to have it running in that stasis, in that state, while also recording. Ideally, I'd love to have a 2 PC solution where one machine records and the other plays. So I don't know. Future plans. Woo! That's what all those ads are going to buy, is more hardware. And a team. I'd love to have an editor working with me. I've had people express interest, so that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Future plans. Sony removed it from the PlayStation. First off, CD Projekt Red stocked. Who cares? Their stock, they lost like a fifth of their value or a quarter of their value. Who cares? Stock markets are volatile and irrational, and I have faith, because people had faith before this game came out, that they will make good on what's going on here. And who cares? It's a new story. It makes them look bad, and to an extent they deserve to look bad, because they were misrepresenting the game, especially on last gen consoles that they designed the game for. They did not design the game for next gen consoles, or were not supposed to, and then like downport them back. They were developing them from the Xbox One and PS4 years ago, and it's only recently that they've been able to access to the hardware, the more powerful hardware, to make this game that looks a lot prettier than it used to, and run as good as it does when you have a $2,000 gaming PC. So they should have done that, apparently. And I read the interview with the conference call where the staff was they didn't have any answers for employees, and all the crunch that had to go on, even though they released a buggy product. Crunch is ridiculous. Crunch can be okay. Crunch culture is obviously terrible. Noodle had a video that released, I would say last week or the week before, about Crunch versus Crunch culture, where he's referencing this interview he did with Marty O'Donnell, formerly Bungie, now at Highwire. And so anyway, and then Sony removed it from the PlayStation Store, and I think that might just be in response to them maybe not having a rigid enough policy on refunding games. Steam has obviously had a policy for a few years now. I think, and Microsoft had to expand their policy as well. Refunds in gaming and digital stores are still relatively new. They think they're still figuring that out, because usually you can only refund if it's within a certain, like, I don't know, with like 2 hours of playtime, something like that. So I don't know. They'll bring it back, because money's to be made. And I think in my heart, CD Projekt Red, even though I haven't played any of their games, I believe they will make it. They will make good. I have faith in them. So, and yes, it does look beautiful. It absolutely looks gorgeous, and it sold to everyone. So, thank you, Aaron. Romega asks, what's your favorite Christmas movie? What about your favorite song? Movie is a little harder, but I will say my favorite song is Winter Wonderland, and I cannot find it. Maybe my brain just made it up, But there is a version of Winter Wonderland that is kind of slow and crackly, and it used to play on the radio. I remember as a kid, and I think it's Bing Crosby, but I've searched for years, like 10, 15 years for this version, and I think I made it up. I think my imagination made it up or whatever, but I love Winter Wonderland. I had a dream about it in 7th grade, and it just kind of stuck with me ever since, just like it altered my brain chemistry, those particular neurons forever. So I love that song, but I cannot find that version. I've heard there are so many versions of, I mean, that's Christmas music altogether. There are 10 Christmas songs and then 20 million covers. It's ridiculous. I worked at Walmart overnights, especially during the holiday season, and they had a like 7-hour loop of Christmas music. And again, it's 10 songs, but it's Mariah Carey singing it, and then Jewel singing it, and then there's a country version by friggin' Blake Shelton or whoever. Countryman sings Jingle Bells or whatever. And then you'll have the novelty songs or whatever, but those aren't often. There's just this really strict, really tight canon of Christmas music. And all of it's garbage except for Winter Wonderland. Just period. But favorite Christmas movie? God, there's so many. I hadn't even seen Die Hard until 2010. It's been a decade. So I think it's out of season to watch it now. Well, I guess you're never out of season watching Die Hard. Home Alone is up there. It's a Wonderful Life is up there. I've had like a day or two to think of this, and nothing really stands out, honestly, aside from those. There are Jingle All the Way is an incredibly stupid but amazing Christmas movie. Nope, I think that's all I got. I'll think of something. I think it's that. Anyway, thank you guys for your support. I hope you had a great holiday. New Year's and my birthday, which are 6 months apart, almost exactly, are my holidays. And so I've already got my old style Snyder's pretzels with my Tostitos queso dip. That's what I do for New Year's. It's a story for another time. I do want to leave you with one update. Yes. The next review will be for The Outer Worlds, so it's going to be dramatically shorter. I do want to get the expansion, though, because apparently the main game kind of fizzles out, and this adds some stuff, adds some content, some endgame stuff, maybe. So I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about... I know some about the game, but, not a whole lot. I watched the no-clip documentaries about it, half a year ago or however long it was now. I also want to do a video about Hard Space Shipbreakers, even though it's in easy access. I want to do something about that's not a review because the game is in early access, but I haven't quite decided on what that is. Also, I am talking with I did have an interesting evening last weekend with my good friend Rainer101 on Twitch. We've known each other forever, and we've talked about political stuff on there, so it might be something coming at that. I'm still trying to wrap up this review, obviously. I'm having this thing where I'm, again, spending all of my waking hours working on the video, I'm sure you can time it. You can watch this video and time exactly how long it is until my monitor's supposed to come off. Monitors, there's 2 of them. So political stuff, who knows? We'll see. You'll get some updates. So, all right. Thank you, reviewers. Until next time, I'll see you next time. Boom.